welcome to today's career webinar, Get Unstuck, Move Forward, Inspired to the Career and Life You Desire. My name is Nicole Anderson, and I'm the Associate Director of Alumni Career Services at Tufts. We're pleased to have Jen Earls from the class of 2008, founder of Dance with Life Consulting. She's a transformational career and life coach, group facilitator, mindfulness teacher, and dance instructor performer. Jen worked at MIT providing career coaching to students and alumni, as well as with Aspire, fulfilling career ambitions. She holds a BA in psychology from Tufts University, a master's from Suffolk University, a certificate in mindfulness and psychotherapy. She's Core Mindfulness Teacher certified, and a 4 Forces Facilitator certification as well. So a few housekeeping items before we begin. Members' audio is disabled. This webinar is being recorded so that we can make it available on our website, and we're streaming it live on Facebook. If you have questions for Jen during the webinar, we'll be using the chat box. Click the speaker bubble button at the bottom of the screen and type your question there, and Jen will take some time throughout the webinar to address your questions. We will not be using the Q&A option if that appears on your screen. Please use the chat box. The webinar is scheduled to last about 50 minutes with another 10 minutes at the end for open chat, and a recording will be available on the Tufts Alumni Career Services website after the webinar. Okay, so let's begin. I'm going to switch screens and welcome Jen.
Right. Hi, everybody. Welcome. My fellow Jumbos, I'm really happy to be here with you all today. I want to thank Nicole and Leslie of Tufts Alumni Career Services for bringing me in to be with all of you. I've been looking forward to this for the past few weeks. And also Samirko, who's a great colleague of theirs who's helping with the tech today. This wouldn't be possible without them, so I just want to say a huge thank you. And all of my fellow Tufts alumni, I'm super happy that you would take the time to be here with me today. I know that you've got 1,000,001 things going on in your lives, so the fact that you would take this time out to be a part of this experience really means a lot. And I already see we have 23 people on, and I think there will be more joining us. So this is awesome, and let's get started. You know, I've been reading this book lately called The Art of Gathering. I don't know if any of you have heard of it. It's by a woman named Priya Parker, and it's a really, really, really good book. And what she writes about is she writes about purpose. She writes about why do we do the things that we do? Why do we do them in this moment in time, in this moment in history, in this moment in our lives, right? And so I was thinking a lot about that when I was preparing this webinar for all of you and thinking about why are we here today? Why are you and I gathering today to talk about this topic of moving forward in our lives, right, and creating the career and life that we really dream of? And I was thinking about, well, this moment in time, right, this moment of the year, this is that opportunity to start your new year off with planting new seeds, cultivating new ideas, setting your goals and intentions for how you want to live your life this year. So the fact that you are doing this now, wherever you are in your journey, whether you have some ideas percolating or you're feeling pretty lost, it doesn't matter. Just the fact that you're here and you're saying, hey, I want to start off my new year, and I really want to reflect on what's important to me. So the fact that you're doing that, huge kudos to you. That's awesome. The other thing is why at this moment in history, right, our world is changing dramatically all the time. And sometimes it feels like every day is presenting a new challenge, a new opportunity, something new that we have to face. So this webinar is not only about creating the life and career that you want, but it's really about learning a new way of being with change, a new way of being with transition, and responding to a world that is ever-changing. So the fact that you're here and you're going to reflect with me today, we're going to go through a very interactive, creative process. I hope you'll really enjoy that. It's going to help you really respond to our world. And lastly, why are you here? I think all of you probably are here for a different reason. If you want, in the chat, you can even just say one word or a short phrase about why you're here. I'd love to see that in the chat. But maybe you're here because you are feeling stuck and you really want to find a new way forward, but you're not really sure what that is. Or maybe you have some ideas percolating and you're feeling excited, but you're not sure what next step to take, right? Regardless of why you're here, I feel like what unites us all is this deep desire grow, this deep desire to be able to move forward, experience new things, feel new things, and live a life that is truly and deeply meaningful. So whatever your reason is, I am happy that you're here. I am thrilled to be here. I love working with people and helping people move forward and create a life that's truly purposeful and meaningful. So I want to just name that this experience today, make sure you have a paper, like a vertical sheet of paper with you, and a pen nearby, because we're going to be doing a visualization in a very short time. So make sure you have that available. And I just want to say to you that today is really about reflection, really getting in touch with what's important to you, okay? What matters to you. And really, by the end of this session, you're going to walk away with your own unique mind map that represents who you are, and you're going to walk away with a couple of next steps or experiments, if you want to call them that you can run to be able to help yourself move forward. So that is our goal today. It's not to solve everything, but it's really to plant those seeds and figure out where you want to go. Okay, so hopefully you're with me on that. Okay, so let's get started. And the way that I like to start, I'm sure, you know, it's the middle of the day, wherever you are in the world, you've already had a lot of things happen to you today. So I like, before we go into a creative zone, I like to just pause and take a couple of breaths and actually shift into a different state of mind and a different state of being so that we can really reflect. So wherever you are, you can just put, if you have anything in your hands, like a pen or anything, you can just put that down. And my invitation to you is actually to close your eyes. If you don't want to close your eyes, that's fine too. You can just hold a soft gaze, whatever works for you, but really the intention is just to tune into yourself. So I'm going to do this with you. So close your eyes. And together, let's just take 3 deep breaths. You're going to take a deep, deep breath down into your low belly. And relax your body on your exhale. And another deep breath, softening on the inhale. And just letting go as you exhale. And one more, take your time, there's no rush, deep breath. And let go on the exhale. Nice, okay. So you can slowly let your eyes come open, and if you haven't stretched today, you're welcome to do a little stretch of your neck or your arms or your shoulders or your back, whatever feels good. I actually teach a mindfulness class at Tufts with the students, and we always start with a short reflection like that and a little bit of stretching. So if that works for you, feel free. Okay, so now that we've really tuned in and we're ready to begin reflecting, I invite you to get your paper and your pen. I'm actually going to be doing it. I work at a co-working space downtown called Impact Hub, which is super cool, and we have these awesome whiteboard walls. So I'm going to demonstrate on the whiteboard wall behind me, but I'm also going to be talking you through it. So if you can't see me for any reason, you'll be able to hear what we're doing. So take your paper, and you're going to hold it in a vertical format, okay? Vertical format. And at the very bottom of your paper, you're going to draw a half sun. So let's see here. A half sun, and then you're going to put your name in it, okay? I feel like Vanna White here, for those of you who get the Wheel of Fortune reference. So you're going to put your name in it. Awesome. And now what you're going to do is you're going to draw 5 small rays coming off of it. So you're going to need the rest of your paper later on we're going to do a couple of rounds of this visioning. So I want you to make sure you leave some space, but of course you can always make another one if you find you run out of space. But you're just going to put 5 small rays, like rays of sunshine, just coming off the sun. Awesome. And don't worry about getting this perfect. I am a terrible artist. I'm a dancer, so my art is not great. So don't worry about this being perfect. It's really just an opportunity to be in your body and be creative and be reflecting. Okay, so we're going to do the first visualization here. And this visualization is designed to get you in touch with what's important to you at this point in your life, what you're interested in, what you feel like you enjoy, and what you feel like you're good at. So in order to do this, put your pen down. Again, if you want to close your eyes, you're welcome to do that, or you can just kind of relax your gaze and just tune inward. So if you're closing your eyes, you can do that now. And again, always take a nice deep breath to just transition gears. And I want you to envision, imagine a time in your life or something you're doing in your life in which you feel fully alive. Really feel into those ing words. Maybe you're teaching, dancing, really feel into what are those times in your life and in your work, in both settings, where you feel fully and utterly alive and excited. Awesome. So you can slowly let your eyes come open. And whatever those ing words were, those verbs like teaching, researching, writing, whatever they may be for you, I'd like you to put up to 5. If you only have 1, that's fine. Or if you have 3, that's fine. If you have more than 5, try to limit it to your top 5. Just put a little bubble, as you can see here, a little bubble on each of the end of your 5 rays, and I want you to actually write in those bubbles those words that you came up with. So I'm going to do them with you. This is my map, so you can look at my map, but of course it'll be different than yours. Just take another minute to do that. Okay, cool. So I can't hear you, but I'm going to just go at this pace. And if you need me to slow down or anything, you're welcome to put that in the chat. And again, this is, you can always do more of this later. This is just an initial process to get you going. So everyone should have up to 5 words, and these are skills, right? So dancing, teaching, these are mine, facilitating, coaching, speaking. These are all things that when I do them, whether it's personal and just for fun, or in my job, I feel fully alive. So whatever those are for you, this is important because as we build this map, you're going to start to see where the most energy is for you. And this is going to help you design some experiments. So stay with the process, even if you're like, I have no idea how this is going to turn out. Just trust the process. We're in a creative process right now, and see where it leads you. Follow the breadcrumbs. So the next step, the next round of visioning, you're going to draw 5 more lines, so create like another tier of bubbles for yourself of up to 5 lines again. I wish I could see everyone's cool little map. It always looks really different when I do this workshop. Okay. Great, so we're going to do the other round of visioning. So again, you can put your pen down, you can close your eyes if that feels good, or if you want to draw while you're doing this. Everyone's really different and creative, so trust your instincts and trust your intuition. So you can close your eyes or hold the soft gaze. And this time, after you take a nice breath, I want you to imagine and envision those things that you just can't stop talking about, reading about, thinking about those topics, those areas of interest to you. Like if I were to ask your best friend, hey, what does Jim always talk about? What is he known for? What are those topics? So really see and visualize in your mind, feel into it. And when you're ready, let your eyes come open. And again, find your pen. In my case, I have a marker. If you have a cool whiteboard wall at home and you're doing this with me, that's awesome. So you're going to make your bubbles for this next round, and I want to invite you to write those words. So this could be education, the environment, music, dance, research, whatever it is. Put your topics down. Okay, cool. So keep taking another minute to finish while I finish mine too with you. That's it for me today. Okay. So trust that whatever you got down there, you're building your map, you're in your process, and by the way, if you like to draw and you're an amazing illustrator out there, by all means, draw pictures, that's fine. And you can also talk to yourself out loud if you like to do that, and that's helpful. This is your process, so trust how you're doing it. Okay, so 2 more rounds of this, and then we're going to understand or look at what does this mean and where do we go from here. So 2 more quick rounds. So again, you can put your pen down if you like, and I know you're going to get used to hearing me say this over and over again, but it's really nice to be able to tune in and check in with yourself. So you can put your pen down, close your eyes, or hold a soft gaze, whatever's working for you today. Taking a breath, coming into your body again. And really imagine if you could be in your ideal workspace. Your ideal workspace, creative space, maker space. What would it look like? So imagine you open a door, or maybe you open a door and you walk in, or maybe you're walking outside, and you walk into that ideal space and look around. What do you see? Notice the colors. Notice the tools. Maybe you have some tools that you use, like if you're a musician and you have your instruments, or if you are an artist, or if you're an engineer and you have some actual mechanical tools that you would use. And notice the vibe. Notice how it feels inside. And how it makes you feel. Maybe it makes you feel relaxed or energized. Awesome. Okay. So just take a moment to really lock in that image. Maybe that can go on your vision board, right? And slowly let your eyes come back open. You got your pen. And this time you can put up to 5 characteristics of the space. And it could be things that you see around you, like actual form, things like in real form, or it could be the vibe of how it makes you feel. Because we don't have to get caught up in form. It just could be, I need a space that's relaxing. I need an environment that's supportive or energizing or creative, right? So go ahead and put another round, right, of up to 5 bubbles that have those words. Okay, so I'm going to give you a minute or 2 to do that now. All right. So finish writing those words. Trust your process here. And we've got one final round, okay? One final round. So for this last round, this is about connecting with people, okay? So let's, again, put our pen down and we'll do one last round together. So you can close your eyes if that's working for you. And tune in, take a breath. And imagine if you were in that ideal workspace, creative space, who do you see around you? Who's partnering with you? Who's collaborating with you? And maybe you're by yourself, and that's some information. Or maybe you notice you're surrounded by a bunch of other tech people, and you're all having this really amazing connection over something you're passionate about. Maybe you actually see some specific people in your life that you would love to work with. Or maybe you just notice the type of people, that they're just really creative and outgoing, or they're really into science and research and talking about the newest discoveries. Who are they? Who are your people? Who's your tribe? Okay. So take a minute, let your eyes come open slowly, and we're going to make that last round. So for this last round, you can write down any specific people who came to mind, any kinds of people, like, oh, I really want to partner with videographers, that would be awesome. Or the characteristics of your tribe, like they're just really creative people, they're really outgoing, they're really community focused, right? Who are these people? So go ahead and do your last 5 of your sun, and then we'll talk about what does this actually mean. So I'm going to stand up to do this one. Okay. All right, my friends. Wherever you are in your process, trust that it's still flowing. This is a process that's going to keep unfolding. Take a look at your map for a minute. This awesome picture of a unique being. There's no one else in the world like you that has this map. And I want you to take your pen, and I want you to star or smiley face or whatever symbol you want to give it. I want you to star up to 5 of the words on your map that have the most energy for you, meaning there's the most excitement. Like for you, if it's like photography, research, teaching, working with other web developers. Put a star, smiley face, or whatever symbol you want up to 5 of your where the most energy is for you right now, okay? I'm just going to grab some water while you're doing that. Cool. So hopefully you start up to 5. Maybe you only start a few, and that's fine. So we're going to spend a moment here brainstorming. What could you actually do? How is this pointing you to new potential pathways, right? So we're going to spend a moment brainstorming, and then the last phase will be, okay, what are the experiments you're going to run out in the actual world now to begin to explore what could you do that is stemming from these things that you love, that are important to you, and then it will guide you forward, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is actually take your paper. So hopefully maybe you have a new piece of paper. That would be great. Or you can write at the top of your sun, whatever works for you. You're going to actually look at your list and think about how could you combine these things. So for example, look at the first layer, which is those are your skills, like teaching, facilitating, reading, whatever they are, those ing words. And then look at that level, and then look at the second tier, which are your interests, right? Like education, the environment. And for a minute, I want you to jot down up to 3 ideas of how you could combine those things. So for example, I could teach dance, or I could facilitate groups around the environment, about the environment, right? So take a minute and just on your paper, just bullet out a list. I could do this thing, combining the skill and the interest. So just take a moment to do that. Up to 3, okay? Awesome. Okay, so we're going to actually do the same thing now. Think about the level of your skills, right? Dancing, teaching, facilitate, those ing words, and look at the environment that you came up with. Maybe it's like, I could facilitate groups at universities, or I could teach dance maybe I could teach dance in yoga studios. I don't know, right? So just see if there's anything there of your skill, or maybe I could lead mentoring groups of youth groups out in nature, out in the mountains or something like that, right? So just take a moment and think about, is there anything, any other ideas, potential pathways you could come up with your skills, but also the environment that you came up with. And it's okay if you can't, if you don't, but just take a look and take a minute and see if there's anything there. Up to 3 ideas, okay? Okay, and the last layer is think about your skills again, right? Facilitating, coaching, speaking, writing, researching, whatever it might be. And look at your list of people, the people that you would want to be around, right? And see if there's anything there, like, maybe I could facilitate groups with other artists. Wouldn't that be cool? Or maybe I could speak to other coaches. What would that be like? Or maybe I could write for an art gallery, like other artists or art galleries or things like that. If there's anything there, or maybe I could partner with other web developers. I don't know. Just take a minute and just see if there's anything there around the skills you want to use and the people that you want to be around. again, coming up with 3 ideas, up to 3 on your list, okay? Okay, friends out there and my fellow alumni, I hope you're doing well. I see we have about 32 people here with us. That is so awesome, and you guys are staying with the process. So I trust that you're with me and you're going through your own creative experience, and I'm so glad you're staying with us. So now, okay, we've done our self-reflection. You've connected with what's important to you. You have your own mind map through this creative visualization. You've come up with at least one, maybe, or maybe more ideas on just creative, kind of free stream of consciousness, ideas on how you could combine creatively your interests and your skills, where you want to be in the world, who you want to be with. And now the question is, okay, Jen, what do we do with this? Where do we go from here? And that is a very, very good question. So I'm going to give you, I'm going to walk you through a few ideas, and we'll set up a few experiments that you can run after this session so that you feel like you can keep the momentum going, okay? And the first thing I want to say is, and by the way, I'll send you a follow-up email tomorrow with a recap with some additional resources. And I will basically also put this little bonus tip in there. A bonus tip to go deeper into this map, which we won't have time to do today, but that you can do on your own, is really look at all of the words that you have up there and reflect on, you can journal about this, or you can even just get your voice recorder out on your phone. I do that a lot. You can just ask yourself why. Why are these important to me, right? And maybe some of you have seen that awesome talk by Simon Sinek, Start With Why, The Golden Circle. It's a great TED Talk if you haven't seen it. It's really important to figure out why these things are important to you and to hear your words in saying it. Like, for example, dance for me, when I do that, I feel fully alive. I feel like I get to be more than myself, right? So what is it about the things that you've chosen, that why they're meaningful to you, and maybe how you do them in a way that's unique? Maybe you love photography and you really, it's important to you because you get to feel out in nature and capture images that really inspire you, right? Like, it's important for you to know why, because that's where the life force is. That's where the energy is, and that's the momentum, the creative energy you need for growth. So take some time at home to do that. And what we'll do now is actually think about, well, what can you do to further explore these options that you're coming up with? So the first thing that you're going to do, you have your paper with you, so we're going to jot down a few ideas, is you're going to actually you would do like a Google search if you want, or just kind of a free write brainstorm of organizations, right, that do these things that are of interest to you, right? So for example, I had a client who, he really wanted to learn how to be like an artisan, right? He wanted to learn how to do metalworking and maybe even someday have his own shop, like an artisan shop where he was selling his items. And so we did a Google search, and we basically put in terms like metalworking and artisans, and we came up with this really cool place in Somerville, Mass, called the Artisans Asylum, and they offer classes, and they have maker space, and it's a community. And so right there, we came up with organizations that he could go to and begin to explore that pathway. So for you right now, if you want to jot down any ideas, maybe you already have some organizations in mind that you've thought about before in the past, maybe you volunteered for them, maybe you've gone to an event, maybe you've even applied for a job there. Write down any ideas for organizations, and a little piece of homework for you will be, I love giving homework, like a little assignment would be up to 3 to 5 organizations that do these things that you're interested in. So literally just do the Google search of your list that you came up with earlier of teaching dance or facilitating groups around the environment and see what comes up in your local area, okay? So that's step 1, research organizations. using your search terms. And like I said, I will include this in the email, so that way you'll remember how to do this and move forward, okay? So the next piece, really important, is people. So we did the research piece, but then people, okay? One of the biggest ways for you to be able to move forward is to feel connected and to feel encouraged, supported, guided, and invited forward by other people. So take a moment, and on your paper, I want you to come up with at least two people in your life already, and these could be friends, colleagues, a partner, someone that you really trust. Two people that you could talk to after this session, after this webinar, about your ideas, just to have like a free-flowing brainstorm. Hey, I'm thinking about these ideas. These are percolating. Let me just share with you what's on my mind, and maybe go back and forth and generate some more ideas together. So write down two people that you will agree that you are willing to speak to after this webinar. Okay, so take a moment to do that. And one of those people could be me, if you want, or Nicole, or Leslie from Tufts Alumni Career Services. You have people, even if you feel like you might not, there are people there who want to support you, who want you to have what it is that you desire. So, good. Okay, so the next part is, well, what if you're like, yeah, I've talked to these people before, but I don't know, they just kind of give me the same response, and I really would love to talk to some new people. I'm glad that you're thinking that way. So I want to share with you, this is where I get a little kind of career coach nerding out. I'm going to show you a really great tool on LinkedIn that you can use. So I'm going to share my screen, and let me see here if I can do that. I wonder maybe if, Nicole, if you're listening to, if you might, I don't see the opportunity to share my screen right now, so maybe if you can pass those over to me, that would be great, those privileges. But while we're doing that, one thing that I really like to do, and I'll include this in my email response to you all, is that I love using the LinkedIn Tufts Alumni tool. If any of you have not used that, it's phenomenal. So what you would do, it's very, very simple. You just log into LinkedIn, and in the top, the navigation bar, you basically can type in Tufts University into the search bar. So if you type in Tufts University, you're going to see, make sure in the More, there's a little More tab next to it. Click that drop down and make sure Schools is selected. And again, like I said, I'll explain this in the email. Schools is selected, and then you'll see Tufts University come up. Click on Tufts University, and when you get to that page, there's going to be a little sidebar. And in the sidebar, there are 4 tabs, and the last tab is Alumni. So Alumni, that's my favorite tool. It has these super neat little bar graphs, so you can sort by where people are from. So for example, I live in Boston. Okay, thank you, Nicole, I see that. So basically, you can see where, okay, I would search by greater Boston area. I can narrow it down. So let's say, I think there are like 67,000 alumni from Tufts on LinkedIn, which is awesome. So basically, let me see here. Yeah, so basically you would type that in. You can sort by your local area, greater Boston area. So let's say there's like 20,000 Tufts alumni in the Boston area. So I would narrow it down by that. And then you can actually scroll through the bar graphs and sort by where people are working. So this is a great way to expand your sense of organizations that you might not be thinking of. You can also search by what they studied, all these kinds of things. So what you can do also is you can type in, there's a search bar at the top of LinkedIn, but then there's a search bar right in the alumni tool, and so you can narrow it down there. So for example, I might narrow it down by, I want to see all of the Tufts alumni who are interested in the environment or who are working in the environment. So I would type in environment, and then you'll get an even smaller subset. So let's say we had 20,000 Tufts alumni in Boston, and now we search for environment, and now we're down to 1,000, okay? What's awesome is you can literally scroll through all their profiles so you can get a sense of oh man, these are roles that I could do that I hadn't even thought of, right? Or these are organizations where these people are working at where, wow, I would love, love, love to be able to potentially apply for a job there. I never even knew of this organization. Or you can even click on their profile and just say connect and add a note. Always add a note, because I don't know about you, but I get LinkedIn requests from people and they don't put a note, and I'm like, I'm not going to say yes to this person. I have no idea who they are. But if you add a note and just say, hey, I'm a fellow Tufts alum. I'm really interested in careers in the environment. I saw your profile. I would love to have coffee, or I'd love to chat if you have some time. I look forward to hearing from you. And then actually have coffee with somebody and ask some questions. So that's a really great way, and I'll tell you a really cool story. I was really interested in career counseling and mindfulness, so I was doing that search on LinkedIn, and I found someone in Colorado. We had a Skype chat, and then we ended up we had such a great connection, we ended up doing a presentation at a global career conference on mindfulness and career coaching. So it was awesome. So you never know. You might learn some information, you might make a new friend, you might get a really cool job opportunity, you might get a presentation opportunity. You never know. So I'm just going to hi, Nicole. Thank you so much for, Nicole's helping me on the background here. I still don't see the possibility to share my screen, so I'm just going to walk through it with you all. So that would be my recommendation for you all. I'm going to send this in the email. You can spend some time researching, and my advice to you, or what I would love for you to do, is come up with 3 to 5 Tufts alumni who are in these areas of interest that you have, okay? So you can do lots of little searches. You can do economics research and see who comes up. You could do leading youth mentoring groups, right? I'm thinking of these are all examples from clients who I work with. So do that, come up with 3 to 5, and then reach out to at least 2 of them, maybe more, okay? Ooh, let's see here. I might have the opportunity now nope, not yet, to share my screen. But that's okay. So I just described that whole process for you. So now we have 3 things going on. You've got researching, just doing Google searches. You can also look on meetup groups. Professional associations are a really, really great way to get in touch with new people or learn more about a profession. Then you've got people in your network just talking to your friends about your ideas. They don't have to know a lot about what you're interested in, but just they're there for support. They're there to encourage you, right? And maybe they know somebody else who you could talk to. And then the last piece is LinkedIn, Tufts Alumni Network, and I will send that in the email. Very specific directions, so that way you can go and do that and find up to 3 to 5 people and reach out to a few of them and see. And not everyone's going to get back to you. That's totally fine. And that's okay. But just keep going, like planting seeds, and you never know who's going to respond and who's going to get in touch and be willing to support you, okay? And let's see. So beyond that, I really want to encourage you all, okay? I work with a lot of clients who feel stuck or who are trying to get a new business going, get an art creative project going, get a new job, right? And a lot of times why they're really stuck are a couple of things. They're not physically moving. When we get stuck in our mind, we stop moving physically. So I want to invite you to move. So what this is all about is energy moving. So if you like to go for a run, or you like to go to the gym, or even just to walk outside, or for me it's dancing, you've got to move physically as much as you can. I know everybody's in a different situation, right? But as much as you can, even if it's just deep breathing, that's moving, right? Move physically so that you can actually begin to let that stagnant energy go and actually start to move forward, okay? Someone asked for you to repeat where on LinkedIn. Oh, yes, okay, so there's a question here, so I'm just going to pause for a moment and say, someone asked me to repeat where on LinkedIn you start in the search bar, in the main search bar, and then you just type in Tufts University. And like I said, I'm going to include this in the email, so you're going to get a full-on list of how to do this. So just these last few tips, you've got to move, okay? Music. And by the way, I'm going to send this to you. I have an inspirational Spotify playlist for moving forward. has some great songs on there. Like I just put a few songs about freedom on there, like George Michael's Freedom, and I was listening to it earlier and it was really motivating to me. So music, if you feel like you can't move, you've got to maybe listen to some music and it will get you moving, I promise, okay? So music. The other thing is creativity, because what this is all about is creative life force energy. So you've got to find something that you can do that feels creative to you. It might be cooking. It might be working on your car. It might be just, you know, crocheting. It might be going out into your garden. Whatever it is, you've got to put yourself in more of that creative space. And if you don't know, just get a piece of paper and start drawing. Literally, we all have this. We have had this since we were children. It's innate. It's in you. You are a creative person. You've got to let the creative energy flow, okay? And the last few things are go out in nature. I live near the ocean in Boston. I go there just about every day. And every time I go, I get a creative idea, or I feel at peace, or I just feel, I feel inspired, right? So you've got to put yourself in places that you feel inspired. Let me see if there was anything else on my list here that I wanted to tell you. So we talked about creating, we talked about moving, music, nature. The last two or three things. So meditation is great. I am a mindfulness teacher, and I'm going to send you guys a few apps that you can listen to. There's a really great one called Insight Timer, and they have meditations on everything, including creativity or focusing or motivation, and small little talks. They're like 3 to 5 minutes up to like 45 to 60 minutes. So I really highly recommend you try this, because scientifically it's been proven that when you meditate, it brings you into a different state in your brain, different brain waves that are just connecting you to a deeper place with yourself, to your intuition, to the moment. A lot of times why people get stuck, they're caught up in the past, they're caught up in the future, you are not in the here and now, and it's really, really hard when you have the same stories playing over and over again. So I meditate most mornings, even if it's for a few minutes, and I have my little journal next to me, and I swear to you, I always have new creative ideas, and it's awesome. So that would be that piece. And then the last two things, reflect. So if you like to draw, I always have a journal. I'm kind of a journal crazy person. I swear if someone finds them someday, they're going to be like, what was going on in this woman's head? But anyways, it works for me. If you have a journal, just writing things down, free writing is a great way to get ideas flowing. And the last thing is just connecting with people, right? Like I always go out to my dance community. I do a lot of salsa dancing or a meditation community, and the ideas start flowing. So these are the last few tips that I wanted to give you, that even if it feels overwhelming to do some of the other stuff like researching or looking on LinkedIn or whatever, you can just start to do these things in your physical body, in your creative body, just to get going, and I swear to you, it will keep things flowing for you. So I want to just take a moment to visualize the close, and then I'm going to leave 10 minutes of chat and questions, and so I can answer those. So take a minute and just close your eyes, or again, hold the soft gaze because we're getting to the end now, and allow yourself to take a nice deep breath. And I want you to imagine, maybe imagine your theme song playing. If you had a theme song, it started to play, the background music of your life. And imagine you were, almost like that theme song is prefacing your introduction on, you were about to be introduced or to introduce yourself to the world and say, this is who I am, this is who I'm becoming. How would you introduce yourself? I am. Who are you becoming? Awesome. So take a moment and really let that sink in, that your vision of who you're becoming is totally unique and different than anyone. You can let your eyes come open. If there's any last little thoughts you want to make on your paper about a step you want to take or a note about what you just saw of who you're becoming, You can write that down, like, I'm going to commit to yoga, or I see myself on stage, I see myself, you know, I am an artist, whatever it is. You can write that down now. And I want to transition and leave some space for questions. So if you have a question, you can put that in the sidebar. I do want to say, while people are thinking about your questions, I'm going to send you an email tomorrow that's going to be, it's going to have a handout with resources. So it'll give you like books and websites and apps for you to keep going and give you the motivation. I also, I offer free consultations for anyone. So if you had a lot of questions come up and you want to talk to someone about your specific situation, I'm going to send out information about that, and you can sign up for a free consult with me, and I'm happy to talk to you about your unique situation. And I'm super excited. I have an online Move Forward Inspired Ignite Your Career Life and Creativity group starting in March, so I'll include the details for that too, because I would love, love, love to connect with all of you and continue to do the work together. So make sure you look out for that email by tomorrow, end of day, and then I'm welcoming any questions, so I'm looking for your comments or feedback. And I don't see, let's see here, Nicole, I can see the messages from you, Nicole, but I can't necessarily see any other chat pieces, so maybe you can copy and paste them, or I'm not sure how that would work. And let me see here if there's anything else I was going to say. I think that's it here. So look out for my email, and I'll include my inspirational Spotify playlist, so that way you can, okay, let's see here. Some people are using the Q&A. Oh, some people are using the Q&A. Okay, let me go down there. Oh, I see the Q&A. Okay, great. Thank you for letting me know, Nicole. Let me see here. I see a question. For LinkedIn intros, is it better to look at them as information seeking, or is it okay to send proposals, invitations for collaboration or offer work? That's a great question. So for LinkedIn intros, for me, it's always best to start on the information gathering level. So it's really about connection first. You never know where someone is in their lives or what they're experiencing. So whenever you send a note for LinkedIn, it's always just, hi, I was drawn to your profile for these reasons. I'd love to chat about your work or your organization. Also, I had some creative ideas brewing, maybe a possible way we could collaborate, and maybe just throw that out there, but you don't have to go into much of the details. So hopefully that's helpful. Yes. And let me see here. My Q&A. Okay, that's the only one I see here. Oh, I see a couple more. Maroda says, thanks for hosting the workshop. You are so welcome. Let's see. We were not all on. Okay, mainly it's been nice comments about the session, so I really appreciate that from all of you. I am not seeing too many more questions. If you have questions, let's say this. I'm going to, in my email to all of you, I'm going to include my contact information. So you'll have my email address, you'll have my phone number. You can be in touch with any questions that you have. Like I said, I have those free career consults, so we can jump on the phone, we can talk about that. You also have the Tufts Alumni Career Services Center. They're there to support you as well. So why don't we do that? And as I said, look out for, by end of day tomorrow, I'm going to send you my awesome little resources sheet. And then I'm going to also send you information. Oh, look, I can share my screen now. Yay, it's right at the end. But I'll show you real quick then, for those of you who are still watching, I'll show you that LinkedIn piece. Thank you so much, Nicole and Samirko, for helping me with that. So, okay, cool. So for those of you who are still watching, you get the bonus right here. So you're going to go to Tufts University, right in the top, search for that. Make sure schools is selected. You choose Tufts University. This is to find the alumni. Then you're going to scroll down on that page, bottom right there on the left-hand side, you choose Alumni, and then it's going to bring you to the Tufts University Alumni page, and you can see I was right. I've definitely looked at this website too many times. Like 66,000 Tufts alumni. This is where I seriously love this tool. I think it's so cool. So Greater Boston area, again, I've seen this too many times, 24,000 people. Click on that, and then, awesome. So now below you see all their profiles, and I see a bunch of my first connections. These are people I went to school with. So I can search by, let's say, environment and see what comes up, okay, if that's something you're interested in. And then you scroll down and, oh, cool, look at this person. Graduated, it looks like in 90, independent energy and environment consultant. Super cool. So I'll click on his profile. He seems like a nice guy. He's got a nice smile and a really cool picture for his background. And he's an independent consultant with 20 years of experience in the electric energy sector. Really cool. So then you can scroll down and see he's got an article, really neat. He's a president of his consulting company. You can read about, oh, wow, he worked at Synapse Energy Economics in Cambridge. That's cool. So as I'm showing you here, this is a great way to see about how people got where they are, connect. You can send them a message or connect with them, and then you can scroll down and see where they worked, what types of roles they had, and look, he got a master's at Tufts, so you can see how you're connected in that kind of way. So hopefully that was helpful with the Tufts piece, and then I just want to show you this last little bar here. Let me see here. Basically here, if you want more guidance, and this is what I'm going to send to you, you can join. I have this online group, like I mentioned. I would love to see you in that. And then also you can connect with me for a consult. And here's my information. And like I said, I will email all of this to you by tomorrow. So I think that is, right now, that's pretty much, we're getting to the end. So I want to just thank you so much for being here with me. This really, I've been looking forward to this all day. I've been super excited, and for many weeks now. I want to thank Nicole and Leslie of Tufts Alumni Career Services and Samirko for setting the web and tech up for us. And I want to thank all of you. You took time today. I hope it was valuable. I wish you well on your journey in 2019, and I'm here 110%. If you need anything, I would love to connect with you, even if it's just for coffee or just for a chat. Feel free to reach out. And I'm signing off. So this will be the end. You're welcome to log off, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And I wish you a great rest of your day and look forward to staying in touch. All right. Take care, everyone. Bye now.